Hey everyone, we're ready to kick off a fresh trading week here as we start into November of 2025 with 2 months left on the clock. In fact, less than that really as far as real trading goes because volume certainly drops off in the latter part of December. Nevertheless, I wanted to look at semiconductor stocks. This is the SMH ETF, and I thought this is worth a mention. I mentioned it to some clients last week as well. Thought I'd point it out here as well. So what we're looking at here is essentially the semiconductor ETF, the SMH ticker symbol. And what we are seeing here is that we have once again reached or getting very close to the very upper end of a very broad trading range for the SMH ETF that has essentially existed, let's say, at the very least since 2020, but really in many ways kind of probably since 2016. So it's a pretty long trading range to be reaching the upper end. Now, none of this means that semiconductor stocks are about to fall off a cliff and that they're bad investments. It just means that the reward to risk, at least from this perspective, is getting a little bit worse in our view as we head into 2026. And we'll see if it matters here in the rest of 2025 as well. But I think from a risk management perspective, we would probably want to be aware of this. So that's the SMH. Look at the second chart here. What we're looking at here, of course, is NVDA. So that's this chart now here in the middle that you're looking at. And NVDA, we can do a very similar analysis, and that shouldn't be a great surprise, I think, to anyone that this chart looks very similar to the SMH, given the fact that it is a big part of it. Again, here, it doesn't mean that NVIDIA is a bad stock, that it's about to fall apart. It just means that probably from here, the going, at least for the time being, is probably somewhat getting somewhat more difficult. So I'm going to have to argue that it's going to get more challenging for the stock to advance at a rapid pace from here. Again, doesn't mean it's a short. I just think from a risk management perspective, this is important to keep in mind. Last but not least, we've got a company called Broadcom, and I made this one a little bit more advanced, or I should say maybe just drew a whole bunch more lines on it because we can do it in multiple ways. So one way of looking at it is by drawing, and I should probably adjust the chart a little bit, is by drawing sort of the long-term chart, which looks a little bit like this. That's these two blue parallels, the big ones you can see here too. We can draw some sort of a channel that again goes back at least to 2020. So this is kind of like the SMH ETF, and if you were to just look at these two, so the big long parallels, you can see we're once again at the upper range of that. I'm going to start getting rid of some of these here as we start going through the video here, so you can kind of see this. Now, next thing we can do, we can draw another set of parallels, which would be I guess the green one at the top and the blue one at the bottom. So that's a range since 2020 more specifically. And then if we get really close in, and really close here still goes back a couple years, it's the red trend lines. This goes back to basically 2022. Let's call it 2023 at the latest, where we can draw this sort of line. In fact, this one's probably a bit more. Yeah, no, it's about right. It's because we're using a weekly chart or monthly chart for this. So here too, we're getting to the very upper end of that trading range. So I think all in all, again, none of this means that semiconductor stocks are about to fall apart. It just means that the reward to risk, I think from an investment perspective, at the very least, is getting a little bit worse from here. So hope it helps to start the week. Have a good start to November, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
If this video helped you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, you give us a thumbs up like, and if you want to see this approach in action, you will want to join us in our Set the Market morning call, which happens at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, Monday through Thursday. Make sure you join us for that in the link down below. Again, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.